Have you ever been left staring at your phone, wondering why she hasn't replied? Not angry, not confused, just stuck in a strange silence that feels louder than any argument. You send a message. It's seen, maybe even ignored. Then hours turn into days, and in that empty space, your mind goes to war with itself. Did I mess it up? Did I push too hard? Is she losing interest? That silence is not just a lack of words. It's a mirror. And most men, they flinch when they look into it. But here's the truth no one tells you. Her silence is a message. And not just about her. It's a test of who you really are. In this video, we're going deeper than the usual don't double text advice. We're unpacking what her silence really means psychologically, emotionally, and through the timeless lens of Stoic philosophy, and more importantly, how the modern masculine man should respond, not emotionally, but with presence, clarity, empowered. So before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel Stoic95 and tap the bell icon, so you'll get notified every time we drop a new video. Number 1. Silence isn't always about you. Here's the first mistake most men make. When a woman goes quiet, they immediately take it personally. The mind rushes to conclusions like, she must be done with me, or I screwed this up somehow. But not every pause is a goodbye. Sometimes, silence is just a breath, a reset, a moment to process things too heavy for words. It's not always about you. In fact, it's often not about you at all. She might be going silent because she's overwhelmed. Maybe her own emotions are louder than anything she could text. Women often move through emotions in cycles, unlike men who are more linear. That silence might be her way of returning to herself, not walking away from you. Think about that. In a world addicted to speed, where everything is supposed to be instant messages, instant reactions, instant answers, we forget that humans don't heal or grow instantly. Relationships aren't customer service. They're not built for fast feedback. They're built on rhythm. And sometimes, rhythm requires a pause. Most men feel that silence and rush into fix. To text more, call more, over-explain. But that's a trap. That's your ego trying to take control of something that was never in your control to begin with. Stoic wisdom tells us that peace comes from knowing what belongs to us and what doesn't. Her silence belongs to her. Your patience, your discipline, your response, those belong to you. The man who can remain grounded in the face of the unknown is the man who holds real power. Because he's not reacting from fear, he's acting from strength. The next time she goes silent, don't ask, what did I do wrong? Ask, what if this has nothing to do with me? That shift from ego to awareness is the difference between a boy looking for reassurance and a man standing firm in his own presence. Number 2. The Stoic response to uncertainty. This is the line where many men fall. When faced with silence, most guys don't hold the line, they crumble. They start overthinking, spiraling into self-doubt, obsessively refreshing their messages, watching for that tiny green that says she's online. It's panic in disguise, desperation wrapped in the illusion of caring. But this is exactly where Stoicism separates boys from men. Because a boy reacts, a man reflects. And when a woman goes quiet, the boy wants to force answers. But the Stoic man knows that silence is a test of his grounding, his maturity, and his emotional strength. Imagine this. You're dating someone, things feel good, then suddenly she pulls away. No explanation, no closure, just space. The boy in you wants to close the gap immediately. Send that extra message. Get her attention. Make sure you still matter. But the man in you, the Stoic in you, understands that this moment isn't about her. It's about you. This is where your self-control gets forged. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters." Her silence is not yours to control, but your response to it. That's where your power lives. Do you chase, Or do you choose stillness? Stillness is not weakness. It's a weapon. It's restraint. And in a world where everyone reacts, a man who can sit with uncertainty without reaching for validation is rare. He doesn't beg for clarity. He doesn't need constant affirmation. He doesn't collapse under silence. Because he knows peace isn't something you get from someone else. It's something you build within yourself. A grounded man doesn't chase noise. He becomes the silence. The kind of silence that radiates calm, confidence, and presence. The kind she eventually wants to return to, not because you demanded it, but because your stillness made her feel safe enough to. Number 3, her silence may be a test. Here's a hard truth most men never see coming. Her silence might not be an accident. It may not even be emotional withdrawal in the way you think. Sometimes it's instinctive, a test, not of your dominance, or how clever your next message is, but of your emotional strength. You see, women, whether they're aware of it or not, often test the ground they're about to walk on. And that ground is you. They're looking for cracks, for signs of weakness. They want to feel safe, and that safety comes not just from your words, but from the stability of your presence under pressure. Picture this. Things have been going well. She seems into you. And then quiet. No explanation, no conflict, just space. And in that silence, your mind screams for action. Say something. Do something. Don't let her slip. But that reaction, that impulse to chase, to demand answers, to fill the void with anxiety, that's exactly what she's watching for. Because if your peace depends on her attention, she knows you can't lead when life gets uncertain. And whether she's conscious of it or not, she's not just observing how you act, she's feeling whether or not you're stable without her constant reassurance. Stoicism teaches us that true strength is revealed not when everything is going our way, but when the ground begins to shake. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's what she's looking for. Not perfection, not performance. Presence. A man who doesn't flinch when tested. A man who doesn't lose his center when the emotional winds shift. If you unravel without her validation, you signal instability. But if you stay calm, composed, and unshaken even while she pulls away, you're showing her something rare. You're not proving your worth through reaction. You're showing your worth through restraint. She doesn't need a man who begs for attention the moment it's gone. She needs a man who remains a mountain, solid, centered, and still, no matter how loud. The silence becomes. Number 4, chase her silence and you lose. Here's the brutal truth many men never admit. The moment you chase her silence, you guarantee that silence will stretch even further. It's a paradox wrapped in your own desperation. Every double text, every just checking in, every apology for her not replying, these don't close the gap. They widen it. You're not wrong to care. Caring is human. But when your messages scream, "I'm not okay without you," you're broadcasting vulnerability in a way that erodes your power. Because power isn't about control, it's about presence, confidence, and holding your ground when the world pushes you to crumble. Think of a real-life moment when someone kept asking you for answers, for attention, for reassurance. How did it make you feel? Pressured? Smothered? That's exactly how she feels when you chase silence. It's like walking too close to a wild animal pushed too hard, and it runs away. Psychology calls this reactance. When someone senses their freedom or space is under threat, their natural response is to pull back harder. You're not just chasing silence, you're chasing a fading shadow. And in that chase, you lose yourself. You stop being the man who stands steady, the man who holds his own value without begging for crumbs. Stoicism teaches us the power of respect, especially self-respect. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. Chasing her silence is choosing to feel harmed. Instead, choose to own your space. Let her feel your absence. not as punishment, but as respect for both your worth and hers. In that space, two things can happen. She either recognizes the man who doesn't crumble at silence, or she clears the way for someone who will. Either way, you win. Because winning isn't about her attention, it's about never losing yourself. Number 5. What you should do instead when she goes quiet. Your first instinct might be to chase, to fill the silence with questions, with desperate attempts to pull her back. But that's the exact wrong move. The real power move: you return to your mission. You build. You focus. You level up. Not to spite her, not to make her notice you, but because your attention was never meant to orbit around someone else's actions or emotions. Your energy belongs to you. Your life belongs to you. When she steps back, that's your signal to step forward into your own purpose, your own growth. Think about it. How many times have you let your goals slip because you were too caught up in someone else's drama? Maybe you skipped the gym, ignored the books that used to inspire you, or stopped creating the life you wanted because you were waiting for her to respond, to engage, to show interest. Her silence is not your enemy. It's your mirror. It's reflecting back the places where you've abandoned yourself. That's the hard truth most men refuse to face. But it's the truth that changes everything. Instead of wasting energy on someone who's not communicating, turn the energy inward. Ask yourself, where have I been neglecting my own fire? The Stoics believed in constant self-improvement, in focusing on what lies within their control themselves. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to return to reason and purpose, no matter the chaos around him. So go journal, not to complain or stew in frustration, but to clarify your priorities and strengthen your mindset. Go lift not to escape pain, but to recenter your body and mind in disciplined action. Go build a life so full, so rewarding, that no woman's distance can make you feel empty or lost. Because a man who keeps moving forward, regardless of external noise, is a man who is always magnetic. That's the kind of man who attracts, not because he chases, but because he creates. Final message. Men, her silence isn't your defeat, it's your opportunity. It's a chance to prove to yourself and to her that you're a man who doesn't break when the world goes quiet. You don't need her words to know who you are. You don't need her response to move forward. You are your own anchor, your own fire. Think of it like this. A man who bends every time a woman steps back into his life isn't standing, he's leaning, swaying with the winds of uncertainty. But a grounded man, he stands firm. He holds space for himself first. You're not punishing her for being inconsistent, nor rewarding unpredictability. You're simply protecting the value you cultivated when she was away: your focus, your energy, your peace. This is the difference between a man who lets his world revolve around someone else's coming and going, and a man whose world revolves around himself. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When a man no longer needs her response to feel whole, that's not ego, that's power. That's mastery. Because it's in those moments of quiet independence that you claim your highest self. If this message resonates, if it reminds you to stay grounded, focused, and powerful in a world trying to pull you off center, then this is your tribe. Take this moment to reflect. The next time she goes silent, ask yourself, am I reacting from fear or responding from strength? Write it down. Sit with it. Let it shape you. This is how you grow, not just in dating, but in life. If this video hit you, if it gave you clarity, smash that like button and share it with a brother who needs to hear this. Subscribe to Stoic 95 and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video. We're here to build men who stand tall, no matter what. Until next time, stay stoic, stay strong.